Okay, so this is Algebra 1, and this is the graphing unit, and I'm going to go ahead and on this Solve for Y worksheet, I'm just going to go ahead and do 3 or 4 of these to remind you, just a quick reminder on, this is just like the solving literal equations that you guys did in Chapter 1. So remember when it says to solve for Y, we just want to get Y by itself. All right, so let's do number 2. I'm going to rewrite it over here so I have a little more room. So remember, I want to get Y by itself, so I want to isolate that term right there. In other words, I need to get rid of this. And how I get rid of that is to do the opposite of what I'm already doing. So I'm going to add 4x to both sides. So now I have 5y equals 8 plus 4x, because I can't combine these two. They're not like terms. And now what I'm doing to y right now is multiplying by 5. So the opposite of that, to get y by itself, is I have to divide every term by 5. And I'm just going to leave it in those improper fractions. And I have now solved that for y. I'm not going to do number 5 because that's super easy. Let's look at number 6. So remember, I want to solve for y. So the first thing let's get rid of this. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, which leaves me x minus y equals -2. And now I'm going to subtract x, because I don't want it on there anymore, which leaves me -y equals -2 minus x. Remember, you can't combine unlike terms, so I just have to write them down like that. Except I don't want this to be the opposite of y. I want it to be y. Well, couldn't I just, if I'm going to change the sign of this, couldn't I do that and then just change the sign of everything? So this becomes positive, this becomes positive, and this becomes positive. And that's my answer. I have solved for y. Let's see, what do we want to do on the backside? Oh yeah, let's do the one with fractions, because you guys love fractions, right? All right, I'm going to show you a trick on how to get rid of fractions. All right, if I look at my two denominators, 2 and 3, and I want to think of a multiple that 2 and 3 will both go into. Well, the first multiple I can think of is 6. So I'm going to multiply every single term by 6. And then I'm going to multiply this by 6, and I'm going to multiply this by 6. So on the right, I would have -36. This term right here would be 6/3, which I know is 2y, or 2. This would be 6/2, which would be 3. So now I've rewritten this equation, and there's no fractions. So now let's go ahead and solve for y. I want to get rid of this, so I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides, which leaves me 2y equals -3x minus 36. To solve for y, I need to divide by 2. And if I'm going to divide that by 2, I have to do it to everything. So this would leave me with y equals -3/2 x. And 36/2 is 18, and this is negative. And I am done. I've solved for y. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do number 12. Okay. Remember, I want to solve for y. So I'm going to get rid of this first. Let's add x to both sides. But oh, look, there's an x right there. I can add it to that. And which leaves me 4y plus 3. 2x plus x is 3x minus 7. And now I'm going to subtract 3, which leaves me with 4y equals 3x Negative 7 minus 3 is negative 10. And now I have to divide everything by 4. Which leaves me y equals 3/4 x minus 10/4. But remember, I can simplify this fraction, so I'm going to go ahead and do that by dividing both of these numbers by 2, which would give me a negative 5/2, which is 5/2. All right, so I did a third of the problems for you. You should be able to finish this page without a lot of trouble.